right. Hey, I'm Anastasia Martin. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey.
Uh, Currently not working, but I did just graduate from University of Memphis, and I'm also doing medical coding courses. And just to go back from um, to the beginning of where I feel like I had PCOS before I was indefinitely diagnosed by a doctor. I'm 28. I'll be 29.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
That's okay. I'll be 29 next month. So I'll say roughly when I was 17, my mom put me on Depo-Provera. That is a Depo shot, birth control shot.
Mm.
And I was on it for maybe like 5 years. And the whole time I was on it, um, I didn't have any cycles. I would just spot when it was time to take my next shot. At this point, 2016, I'm terrible with math. I was in the beginning.
It's okay.
I was beginning of my 20s, and so I was like, this don't feel normal to go without a cycle this long. So I went to the doctor and I told them that I don't want to take the shot anymore, and they just was pressing so many type of birth control methods
Wow.
on me. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to get used to my body. Let
Right.
it do its own thing, run its
Right.
course. They was pushing it, so I changed doctors. I was like, I don't want to go there anymore. I don't want anyone to push anything on me. 2016, when I stopped the shot and it was out of my system. Seriously, I hemorrhage for months. I would be on my for 3 months at a time. I
Wow.
was, I was soaking through my mattress. I was just so uncomfortable. I gained so much weight. My acne was bad. It was just horrible. And I would go to different doctors and they would do pelvic ultrasounds and they're like, well, we don't see anything. Here goes some birth control. And I was like, I don't want that. That's why I'm in this situation now. I even had doctors to say, I don't know why women, like she had like this type of attitude, like I don't know why
Wow.
women think birth control is the issue. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. If I don't want it, I'm not taking it.
And you
Um,
have a choice.
right, exactly. So at this point, I was just doing my own research and out watching television. I was like, maybe I have what they call PCOS.
Mm-hmm.
But this was just something, a guessing game at this point. I wasn't sure. I wasn't into it like I am now because, of course, I was young. I was just still having fun. It wasn't really, I was like, okay, it is what it is.
Right.
I was still going to all these doctor's appointments, getting the pelvic ultrasounds, and it was the same thing constant with each doctor. Nothing's wrong, everything's fine. Here go birth control. They would give me Provera to give me a break from having cycles, but
So I'm sorry, what's a Prevera? Like just so
Provera.
for the people watching, they can know.
Oh,
Like,
okay. So Provera can either start your cycle or stop your cycle. It's a
got
pill
it.
you take for 10 days. So it's supposed to stop it or start it depending on your situation. And
Gotcha.
at this, I was flowing so much that they gave me the Provera. I took it for 10 days. It never stopped. It just slowed it down. So at this point, I was exhausted. This was between 2016 to December of 2018 that I struggled with my cycles and acne and weight and emotions. It was just too much. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get on birth control. But I wasn't consistent because that's not what I really wanted to do. Fast forward to January of 2019, my cycles just vanished. I went a whole 2 months without a cycle, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, not this again, not
Right.
again." So in March, I went to another doctor, and at this point, I was engaged. I got engaged August of 2018. I was a junior in college. Thank
Congrats.
I was a junior in college and I was basically telling her, look, my cycles are irregular. I don't know what's going on. Me and my fiance I want to get this under control so we can have kids in the future.
Right.
So she gave me Provera again. And this time it jump started my cycle, and she gave me Clomid. Clomid helps you ovulate.
Okay.
She 50 milligrams is 5 pills. So I took the Provera and the Clomid in April of 2019, and by May I was pregnant.
Oh,
Yes, it happened
I
that
guess it
fast.
works.
I was not expecting it. It happened so fast. Um, in September, I was 19 weeks. Um, my water broke early.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went. I had to go on bed rest. I had to stop my internship. I had to cut back on my classes. I couldn't graduate in December 2019. I had to stop working. My first thing was save my baby.
Right. Right.
In October of 2019, at 23 weeks, I went into preterm labor, and my baby passed.
Okay, hold on. Let's like
I,
let's
I
go
know
back a
it's
little
a
bit.
lot. Uh,
So 39 weeks typically, right? One is usually that's the length of pregnancy.
mhm.
And you were going to labor in how many weeks?
I went into labor in 23 weeks. My water broke in 19 weeks.
Wow.
And when I went to the doctor, they had no explanation for it. They usually when a lady water breaks that early, it's because they have either incompetent cervix, like their cervix is opening up too soon, or they have some type of infection. I didn't have any of it, so they were so confused, and all I kept hearing was, "I don't know why this happened to you. I don't know why this happened to you." And so when I went into labor at 23 weeks, um, my doctor came in and said, "Oh, it's just a case of bad luck."
What? Wait. What?
I kid you not, and it plays in my head every day. It's just a case of bad luck. We don't know
Dude.
what happened to you. Your cervix wasn't short, like nothing was wrong. So me doing my own research, being irritated with doctors, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do this on my own. Before my baby, I had irregular cycles. After I had her in October, November till now, my cycles have been coming regular on their own, but I'm still not ovulating.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken me to go back to the doctor around, I'll say May of, I want to keep saying this year, but it's not
It
2020
just
anymore.
started. I know.
Like this year, no. Um, 2020
Yeah.
of me and my husband, we started back trying, and I noticed I wasn't conceiving. So I was like, maybe I should go back to the doctor. At this point, I was still trusting doctors instead of trusting myself. Although I was infuriated because they kept telling me, I don't know, I just kept going back. Uh,
Well, which is understandable because at the end of the day, you want answers.
right.
Your body is not, quote unquote, cooperating, and you have not quite found out what's going on yourself. So you're just like, look, somebody, you guys are getting paid for this. You go to school, like, I need one of you to give me some type of answer. So it's totally understanding that, you kept going back and all that.
Yeah. At this point in May, I had them to run some tests because at this point I was doing more research on my own, and it was like, your progesterone levels are non-existent. And I'm like, what does that mean? They were like, you're not ovulating at all. I was like, well, give me something to ovulate.
Uh-uh.
So of course they put me back on Clomid, and I ovulated, but I did not conceive. And this was my OB that delivered my baby. So this was my first time with him. Also, even though I didn't like my news, I was just still going back, hoping for more. And at this point, he tried one time with Clomid, and after that, he was like, just go to a fertility clinic.
Mm.
I was like, no. So I went to another doctor, and she was more understanding, and it just still did not work. I was becoming more uncomfortable with talking to them.
Right.
But at this point, she was the first one in August of 2020. She was the first one to say, you was not supposed to be on depot for that long. You was only supposed to be on it for no longer than 2 years. I was like, I've been to a million doctors and I'm just now hearing this 5 years later. Are you serious? And
Wow.
I did another pelvic ultrasound, and they said, "Oh yeah, you have PCOS." And I said, "Well, how severe is it?" I don't know. All I see is a 0.7 centimeter cyst on your left ovary. I'm like, okay, that's really small. What about my right ovary? They were like, we don't see anything on there. I'm like, so I have PCOS because of very tiny cyst on one ovary. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, so what should I do about it? And she was like, and at this point, I was like, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
Right, right.
In August, I stopped taking medication. In September, I stopped drinking wine. In October, I stopped meat, bread, sweets. I was like, I'm just gonna change my diet. I have lost like 32 pounds. I
Yes.
I started back going to therapy, and I've been consistent with therapy weekly. I've been taking my walks, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do this myself
Right,
because point you guys are no help at all.
right. And look, like to be honest,
Uh-huh.
I'm not against doctors. I'm not saying any like they have their parts within whatever they do, but it's a business. Okay. And at the end of the day, they got to get paid. At the end of the day, they have a quota they have to reach every month. And it's unfortunate that sometimes they're not as helpful as we would like them to be. Like, especially the guy, instead of, I don't know, something else you could have said instead of you're just one of the bad luck. Like what?
Exactly.
What? You,
So that's
I come
that.
to you. I just lost my baby. I come to you, and that's the response you give me. Like that makes no sense whatsoever. But man, again, sorry that you had to go through that. Um, and it sucks that it took 5 years to
That
finally be like, damn, like this is it. I'm going to take matters in my own hands and be done with these people. It's unfortunate that we, often take that long because, again, we put matters in their hands instead of our own hands. We don't trust that we do and can have the solution and sometimes a better solution than they would have. And I don't even want to say, because I don't want to assume that being on Depo had anything to do with your baby or
mhm,
not, but who knows? Like finding
that
out that you were on there way longer than you were supposed to, I'm sure it had something to do with it. You know what I mean? Especially if they say you were super healthy, like
right.
in that area. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And you mentioned that she said um, the cyst on your ovaries is what is why you have PCOS, but it's really like, okay, the cysts come due to PCOS. So it's not the cyst that, says, okay, I have cysts, so I have PCOS. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I've
So
seen a lot of women that brings up the cyst thing a lot, and they're like, oh, I have huge cysts, but the cysts that's related to PCOS are small. They're not big. Like a lot of people would start saying, like, I have huge cysts. And I'm like, that might be something else.
fibroids or anything.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And it may not have anything to do with, because the ones that are PCOS related are, tiny ones. Um, but man, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 28. I'll be 29 February 13th.
Damn. This month is going, wait, no, next month.
I know it's just too.
It's cool. 2021 just started, no problem. I get my months together. But super exciting. So what was life before um PCOS? Like, I know you said you've always pretty much had issues when it comes to your menstrual prior to being diagnosed, but what did your teenage years look like? Like, was it normal? Were you active? What do you, or does anything is any of your family members any different that you can be like, oh, okay, maybe this is why, or like, how does that part of everything looks like for you?
Funny that you asked because since I've been going through this journey, since being diagnosed in August, I just been reflecting on my life and everything before then. Um, as I can recall, I started my cycle when I was in the sixth grade.
Hmm.
I do not remember ever having a regular cycle.
Oh,
Never.
got
And the first one in my family that's having infertility issues. So I'm pretty much alone in this.
got it.
And I know with low earn, I know that it has a lot to do with your hair breaking off and shedding and things. My edges have been thin since I was in the ninth grade, and
Mm,
they had grown back.
mhm.
And I was anemic, like my levels were really, really low. And so I was thinking maybe this had something to do with it, but we didn't know because it's not something that my mom dealt with. It's not something that my aunt dealt with, my grandma, my family, my cousin. So this is something that it's new to me.
Mhm.
And doing this research is all new to me. Everyone in my family is like, what is she talking about?
Right,
Why is she changing her diet?
right.
Why don't she want to eat for Thanksgiving? Why don't she want to
That part.
I'm like, this plays a huge part in how my body regulates. And I know since I've been eating better and I drink like my herbal teas, I do fennel and raspberry and things.
Me too.
Um, I, I I
Yeah.
love it. I noticed that the first 2 days of my cycles are really heavy and it will be clots and things. But since I've changed my diet, my first day haven't been that bad. So I'm like, okay, maybe no, I can do this on my own.
Yes.
So it's a journey and I still have my cravings. And I was talking to my therapist about it, and she was like, you're restricting yourself, and if you want that burger, you should eat it. And I was
You can
because
get creative. You can get creative. Don't listen to her talking about you can
I was
have it. No. I know
like,
what happens to my body when I do certain things. So
right,
I won't do it. Because
right.
sometimes I get the cravings too, but for me it's like, okay, do I rather the short term feel not even feel good, because at the end I'm like, oh dang, that was not even worth it. Or do I want the feel good throughout my entire month, especially when my cycle comes? Because sometimes now, ever since I did what you did, I shifted my eating and all that. um the crazy, like, I literally would not be able to go to work. I would be curled up in bed with my cramps. And ever since I shifted my eating, yo, I regularly, unless I tell you, you wouldn't even know that I'm on my cycle.
Really.
And prior, oh, you
See,
would
those
know.
those are goals because it's so uncomfortable. The pain. It's like I feel my ovaries like
Yes.
throb. What in the world? I
Yeah.
feel so.
And even
It,
when you go into little TMI, but before, even when I would go to the bathroom, even to pee, I'd be like, oh, 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 not vaginal pain, but like just, I can't even explain it, but the pain would affect me just urinating as well. And I'm like, dude, this can't be life. Like, I need to do something about it. That's why, like, now when my family makes fun of me, because they were like, oh, Rose don't eat. She eats leaves. I'm like, being vegan does not mean you don't eat. So get that to get that info correct. And it's fine. I laugh with them now. I'm like, only if you knew
Mm-hmm.
life before this.
And I've tried to sit down and talk to my family. Um, have you ever seen the documentary on Netflix? It's called What the Health?
No, I've heard.
Oh my gosh,
I've heard.
it pushed me away from meat. Like, time out. No, no, no.
Yeah,
I just wish, and when you talk about lifestyles, it's not even just eating habits, it's
right.
mental as well. It's
Girl.
That's why we
Yes.
have to stay in therapy. If this is not right, nothing else is going to flow right. So I have to get my mind together. I have to get my body together.
Dude.
And my family do not understand at
Let's
all.
talk about it. Yes, that's exactly 100%. Like I typically tell people it's 80% nutrition, 20% fitness, 100% mindset. If up there
And
is not right, you can forget about everything else because you're going to
it's
keep going back.
right. It can have its pros and cons. Like being consistent. This is the most consistent I've ever been. And I am proud of myself and I'm
You
happy
should
for
be.
my
You
change.
should be.
It could be it's it's challenging to be consistent because you have those cravings and then the environment that you're around. It could be hard, but in my head I just put it as, if you eat that, you're not going to ovulate this month,
Oh,
and we need you to ovulate. Because my
oh,
husband texted me like this morning, he sent me a picture of one of the pictures I took when I was pregnant. I was 6 months.
oh,
I miss you being pregnant. I can't wait to have another baby. And
oh.
you're not just doing this for you now. You're doing this for you and him. So you have to get it together.
The bigger
And
picture.
yes, exactly. And a lot of women fail to realize it's not all on us. Men play a huge part too. They sperm have to be right. We have to be on one accord. You can't intake all this crazy stuff and then I'm getting
Dude.
together and trying to work on PCOS and work on my mental. We have to get on one accord.
Dude, like so much nuggets you just thrown right now. So
Yes,
much value in what you just said because again, when you're in a relationship, you're not, of course, like this is not a me only thing. Yes, you it's your body, but obviously it takes two to get there, right? So you
exactly.
have to be super intentional in what you're intaking, intentional in what you're inputting in your mind. And like you said before, your surroundings, you got to be mindful of that too, making sure that you put yourself in places that help you um, continue these healthier habits versus putting yourself in places that makes it harder, and stress level going up and you're like, do I really need to do this or blah blah blah, totally forgetting the bigger picture of why you're doing it in the first place. I want a family, my husband wants a child. We want a child. And by doing this, not only do I feel good, not only am I taking care of myself for long term, but I'm also doing it for my family,
Right.
that we'll soon have. So, yo, so dope to hear you say stuff like that because um, is so much more than PCOS itself. And the thing that I love so much because I'm such a like it's such a big deal for me when it comes to overall health, not diets, but healthy active lifestyles. And this, we always forget this and we're like, oh my gosh, I can't continue or I can't. If this is not right, you're going to keep going through the cycle and you're going to keep trying to figure out what's going on. You got to work on this, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whatever you got to do. And I know you're doing the counseling and all that, whatever you got to do to get it right. Because everything else gets to follow once this one is right. So super, super bomb. So I know it's I was going to say this year. It's last year you started your non-meat eating. And do you do dairy, or is it vegetarian or vegan?
Um, I'm not really putting a name on anything yet because I'm still trying to get there. I'm
Mhm.
consistent, but not as consistent.
Perfect.
Um,
Perfect.
I went to the doctor in August. I didn't get the PCOS news until October,
Mhm.
but at this point, I've already did enough research to know
That's
August
cool.
medication, September no more wine, October let's get it started. So this is something that I've been doing for I'll say 2.5 months now.
Awesome. Awesome.
Um, I have slowed down on dairy. I have my moments where I have like a Caesar salad, have a little
Girl,
Parmesan
it's
cheese.
been 2 months. Okay.
So
You're doing
I,
good.
I'm trying, and I'm shocked that I'm even doing this. But like I said, I have a bigger picture.
Hmm.
It's this girl. I can sit here and talk to you all day about mental health and
Yeah.
affects your body and
Mhm.
how it just you see certain things in your family
Mhm.
and don't understand until you're older.
Mhm.
I wish I could talk to the world. I
Well, this is going up, and women get to, and that's why I'm doing it. Women get to hear, and they get to also know that, they're not by themselves. So once it's up, I'll give you the deets. You can share it with whoever,
uh,
find value in it. But man, I'm so proud of you. It's been like over 2 years for me since I've taken on, not eating meat or dairy, but it's been about 6, 7 years since I've taken on healthy, active lifestyle. And I can say it's one of the best decisions that I've made. And that would have been one of the suggestions that I gave you. So it makes me super happy that um, you realize that on your own and you have taken on that, and you won't regret it, because I'm fortunate enough to say that I haven't taken any of the medications that they tried to put me on, because I took that route. Because I'm very huge on the fact that why get on something that I know I don't want to be on for the rest of my life. Like my doctor always used to say, the birth control is going to balance your hormones. I'm like, okay. And then what? When I get off, then I'm back to square one, right? I'm back to trying to, no, I need something that I can follow and do long term. Um, and this that you're doing is
mhm.
it. And I'm happy that your now husband, is very supportive of your choices and has been there throughout the entire time, because that's you need that support. For me, when it comes to my healthy active lifestyle support, it was my best friend. We did a whole bunch of research, and sometimes when I sort of kind of want to steer the other way, it's like, no, what's gonna happen, how you're gonna feel, the consequences. And as much as we don't want to make it sound like, okay, quote unquote consequences, but when you feel your best, is it worth it? At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. So, what is today? Friday. So maybe Monday. Um, my husband he went somewhere to get something to eat, and I had a salad. I had like an avocado salad or something like that, and his food was just so tempting. I was like, "Can I have a nugget?" And he gave it to me, and instantly I regretted it. I just felt consciously, I felt so bad that I got out the bed and started doing squats and sit ups. Like that's just how serious this has came to me. I'm like, oh, I cannot do this to myself. I'm so determined to overcome PCOS, overcome infertility, and have my rainbow baby that I cannot eat that chicken nugget. I walked.
Said I just got up and started doing squats.
I started walking like 4 or 5 miles. They was like, it's cold outside. I'm like, we gonna put a hood on. I'm not gonna walk in. Um, this is not the life I want to live. I don't want to be on medication all the time. And that's, like you said, that's the doctor's job. That's for them to give you medication to be on for the rest of your life. There, I have yet to have a doctor to tell me, change your diet. See how that works. No. They're
Unless
gonna
you
say,
go to someone that's like that have a holistic practice. Yeah, none of that.
yeah, no doctor that I have been to in the past 5, 6 years have told me to change my diet.
And there's this group that I was on Facebook and I was watching, and she sent a screenshot of one of the meal suggestions that her doctor gave her. And I'm like, yeah, I would reconsider that, doctor, because I don't see how that's supposed to help you long term.
Yeah,
Because
it
we
had,
want a healthy, active lifestyle. We don't want quick fixes. We don't want diets that we can't stick to. And that's what, like, a lot of people think not eating meat or whatever we don't eat, you can't enjoy food. And you get to be creative, get on YouTube, Google, search some creative ways to like still be able to eat the things that you love, because you can. And if you want this as a lifestyle, you get to, because you don't want it to get boring and you're like,
yeah, because it can get boring, really. But like I said, my conscious, how it's set up, like, girl, you cannot eat that because what if you come on this month and your cycles are just crazy because you ate something you did not have any business eating? So
don't make it so dramatic though. Like, yes, but don't, like, try to be like, all right, I know I should not have eaten that. So, okay, this is what I'm gonna do moving forward. This is when my husband comes home with something, I'm gonna make sure I have food in the fridge or something that I can just grab and eat when I have that craving, when I feel like. That's why I'm huge on meal prepping, because I get to just grab and eat. And one of the best things for me is the fact that my best friend follows this healthy, active lifestyle. So it totally helps me. Um, and his mom, still eats regularly, but it's fine. Like at this point, it's fine for me. But you with 2 months, and you want to really be intentional to make your life easy, because to create certain habits, you want to make it easy to follow it. You know what I mean? Like meal prep, put in the fridge so it's easy, pop it in the microwave, you good. Make sure inside your fridge. Now, granted, it's you and your husband, so there's going to be some for you, there's going to be some for him. So I can't say in the fridge, make sure it's things that you can eat, because you too got to eat, which is fine. But just make sure whenever you just grab something healthier. Anything, affirmations before you go to sleep, first thing in the morning, things to like reiterate what you're doing, reinforce what you're doing, and remind you of the bigger picture. Whether you need a vision board, and it could be a picture of you and your husband and your rainbow baby, anything to be in the forefront. This is why I'm doing this. It's bigger than myself. It's not only about me. Um, and girl, you got this.
oh my gosh, you just gave me so much. You gave me the confirmation that I needed, because I have been doing my affirmations,
Nice.
and these are things that I have not been doing before. Just waking up and choosing to be happy this day, and starting this challenge with this huge jug.
Yes,
Like, baby,
girl.
drink this water. um, and even when I become sidetracked, I now record myself saying affirmations, and I record
Mhm.
myself prep talking like, girl, look.
Yes. Look, sometimes
So
you gotta talk to yourself like that.
yeah, so when I'm not in a good mood or I'm not, feeling myself and I don't feel like talking, I will still press record so I still hear myself. So those are some of the things that I've been working on the past month or so. So I'm getting there,
Yeah.
and have someone say, "Girl, you on track? You got this." It just makes me feel good. Like this is going to be my year. This
Yeah.
year is going to be better. I hope to help other people because
And
yeah,
this will,
yeah,
um, doing this video
uh,
and sharing definitely will. And we get to share it with so much women. And yeah, your story will impact someone, because I know there's somebody out there that's going through exactly what you went through, and hearing what you did to overcome it, it's a game changer.
yeah. If I had advice to give anybody, it
Please.
would advocate for yourself. Do not go into a doctor office um, with no research. If you can't think of any questions, go on the Facebook groups, go yes, and all those questions, write them down and ask the doctor. Don't go in blindsided because then I feel like they just throw things at you and they make you
Educate
like
yourself.
the end of the world if you don't take their route versus
Right.
trusting your body because
Right.
no one can tell you how you feel and
That
no one you how to control your body. You have a say so of what goes on all around here. And I'm telling you, mentally, I'm I can't express enough how important it is to be level headed, to be strong because it's so easy to fall into depression. It's so
mm-hmm.
falling to have anxiety. Imagine, well, just for me, losing a baby and everyone around me popping out babies like Skittles.
Yo, I
And
can't even imagine. I
man,
can't even imagine.
and it all plays a role in how your body moves. Going through depression and anxiety and PTSD, now PCOS, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like you don't know if you're coming or going. So you have to get everything aligned and advocate for yourself. Be there for yourself. Speak up for yourself. Cause who else gonna do it?
Dude.
You going into a doctor's office, they don't know you how you know you. You have to trust good. You cannot man all the time. I mean, of course, science is cool. Of course, I would never knock that or take anything from anyone, but trusting yourself is so much better. You can't put all your trust to someone else. It just don't work that way. You can't go to a male doctor and he's telling you how your body works. Oh, you're okay. No, I'm
But you
not okay.
got the degree, right?
I got a degree too. We can all study and Google and research and help each other and we can get through this. Like we don't have to put all trust into the doctor. We can trust yourself too. So
Absolutely.
it just makes me so irritated.
Yeah. Yo, thank you so much. Anastasia or Anastasia?
Anastasia.
Anastasia. Thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate you, who you are for women, because you're a great example of what we get to do, to become the best versions of ourselves. And thank you for taking this time to voice yourself, to voice your story, to share with us. We love you. And definitely we'll be reaching out some more. Got some other things in the works. I'll definitely put in the comments where you guys can reach out to her, and please send out all the love. Thanks for her taking her time to do all this. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Have a good one.